This video is sponsored by Brilliant. If you're like me, then you're probably not just watching this video on your phone, but you're constantly on your phone. And when you're not doing something useful with your time, like watching one of my videos, you're probably just passing that time idly scrolling through your social media feeds. How great would it be to find ways to turn that passing time into personal growth in the form of developing skills in the fields of computer science, physics, logic, and mathematics, all in an innovative, fun, and effective package? This is what Brilliant offers with its digital and mobile learning platform. Brilliant is an online learning platform for STEM that replaces lecture videos with hands-on interactive lessons. Brilliant is for curious learners, both young and old, professional and inexperienced. You all know I'm a former teacher myself, and one thing I know about the future of education is that it's going to be self-guided, interactive, and offering lots of feedback and variety for the variety of learners out there, and Brilliant has a good handle on that future. Do you want to learn about physics using pool balls? They have that. Do you want to understand the basics of how algorithms work? You know I do. They have that. You want to learn the logic of coding? They have that. Do you want to just have some good brain teasers to keep you sharpened on your toes in those idle times? They have that as well, but understand it's so much more than that. It's an opportunity to fundamentally enhance your knowledge of the most important fields of study around right now. It's the type of thing I really wish I'd have had 20 years ago. The type of thing I'm definitely going to introduce to my kids. Or you're like me, you're older, and you just want to understand the inner workings of tech and science. Brilliant can do all of these things. This isn't stuff you can just easily glean from watching YouTube videos. This is high-level, interactive, hands-on learning distilled down to basic components by expert educators. And if you want it, the first 200 people get a 20% discount on annual membership by clicking the link in the description. I want to say thank you to Brilliant for supporting the channel. Please support the channel and Brilliant by checking them out. And now on to the video.
Expand your vocabulary in your mind so that you can know on a first and last name basis.
Y'all, this video came out last year. I may have dropped one of my first videos not long after this brother dropped his. This is an excellent piece of commentary. 125 views. A dude like this with more resources and time and better looks could be here making good shit for the culture if he had the chance. There were more cookies here. If there's a big continuity error where it shows that I sat down with like 7 cookies and I only got 4 left, let's just say that this recording didn't go as smoothly as I would have liked it to. What's going on once again, everybody? This is BreadTube's favorite uncle, FD Signifier, and today I'm going to be contributing to the grand tradition of uncles offering you unsolicited and sometimes unwarranted criticism and advice. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Now, to be fair, today's video will be full of advice and criticism, but everyone featured on today's video will have been asking for my reaction. A couple of weeks ago when I released the Break Bread video, I had been working on for like half a year. Can you believe that even though that video was 1 hour and 40 minutes, that I actually still cut like 20 minutes of content that I had filmed? And most of that content was geared toward like advice for other content creators, people that are trying to get on the platform, and things that I could have used from my interviews that kind of supported that. But at the end of the day, the flow of the video, it just required that. I mean, it was already long enough. So most of that's on the cutting room floor. Those interviews may end up on my Patreon in some form or fashion. So, you know. But the advice and the stuff I wanted to get into, I still wanted to make sure I got to the people. So in the spirit of Christmas and giving and really still trying to make sure that other people that are not getting the looks that they probably deserve, or maybe you just want a little more advice on their content, today's video is going to be all about kind of engaging with that part of the video that didn't get fully fleshed out. So I asked for other marginalized and BIPOC creators to send me their best videos to react to. And after I started getting them, I knew a simple reaction wasn't gonna do justice. I really felt like, man, I need to kind of give like a quick crash course on video essay stuff that I have learned up until this point, that I knew from just being a person that watched these for the longest. Now, this is gonna be all my opinion, of course, but I did want to make sure, like, beyond just saying this is good, this is bad, I like this, I don't like this, that there was some logic to frame all of that, right? I created a ranking system because I do shit like that for no apparent reason. And so the lowest ranking, and it's not low like I don't know how this is gonna come out. So on level 1, we have stay hydrated, and that means your content, it just needs some work. It needs significant work probably at this point to really get to a level that I think it needs to be for it's ready to take off. Signified means you kind of got it, but you probably need a couple of more tweaks, or maybe you just need more content. And then lastly is ready to break bread, which basically means that you should already be out there with a larger fan base, and you're just not, because that's kind of how YouTube works. I created the ranking system because I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and it should be really apparent that a big passion of mine as I grow my own personal channel is to constantly be shining a light on other content creators that haven't gotten their chance to shine yet. But to make that really work, like, my word has to mean something. So if your content comes across my table, and some people have sent me content that I'm like, and I've let them know, like, yeah, this isn't really quite ready for my cosign, because it's not. And I want it so that when I send something to my audience, that they believe that I am really sending them something that's of good quality, and not just trying to help a brother out or cosign somebody that I don't actually like. So that means if you're still in that stay hydrated phase, it's not any shade, it's not hopefully coming off demeaning or disrespectful, it's that the content needs work before you really are able to get a full cosign. And I hope you still get shine off the video. But at the same time, that can be a double-edged sword, because the second thing to think about is you kind of only get one shot sometimes. If you have one video pop and then everything else doesn't get the same love, then YouTube is going to start decreasing the amount of visibility your videos get. That is a real thing. So I'm not putting people on, partially because if I put you on, you get shine, and your channel isn't in order to really receive all of that and take off from there, it's a wasted opportunity, and you may not get that opportunity again. So a lot of logic that goes into that, but I've been talking a long time, like a really long time. And so we're gonna get straight into the reactions. Next up, this is the disrespect behind hip hop music by Thinkpiece Tribe. And I think this is a dope thumbnail, I think. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time talking about thumbnails and titles, but those are huge, huge deals to being successful on the platform. But I don't understand them very well. Y'all have seen, the one advice I'll give you is that you've seen, if you follow my channel, that I will change a thumbnail up real quick. And that's because that's a part of being successful at this point. If you do a thumbnail and a title and the numbers don't look right to you, try a different combination. You can see when a thumbnail has improved the video's performance. So like whenever you make a thumbnail, make at least like 2-3 of them bad boys so you can change them out. And if it comes out and it looks like the numbers ain't quite right, change that bad boy. Kill your darlings. Don't be beholden to a specific thumbnail to see if it works. I think YouTube wants you to do that, because the reality is the thing that gets your video clicked more than anything is the thumbnail and the title. It is what it is. So let's see what we're working with. That's dope. So one thing to have, like, to think about are like motifs. So I'll talk about how so much of this is parasocial, and like that word gets muddy because on one end it's like kind of icky, but on the other end it's a requirement for being successful. But what it really comes down to is creating fans, people that fuck with your shit. One way to do that is to have things that are unique to your content. That can be an opening, like so many people have a catchphrase or two that they drop at the beginning of their video. They might have a music beat that happens with all the videos. Like, there's so much that goes into it. That is an example of a really good one. And I can tell off rip that Thinkpiece Tribe probably has some tight editing. I don't know if he's doing his own editing, but this is probably one of those art kids that just knows like what things are supposed to look like. Cause I'm looking at his background, I'm looking at that cut from the opening to now. That shit I don't know how to do. So, you know, props to that. That's a good start.
Music. Why does rap music get the most disrespect? And what's truly going on here? And that's what I'm here to talk about, because it's been bothering me for a while, and I feel like I need to give my 2 cents on this dumb shit. So yeah, we're going to start a dialogue, and you already read the title. So let's get into the stupid ass opinions and takes that rap music gets, why it's harmful, and why truly
nobody cares, nigga!
Yeah, that's tight. Now, you know, I'm a sucker for hip hop. But like using I don't even know how to explain that. But using like secondary media to create your transitions and your editing, that's part of the aesthetics. That is what pulls people in. Like it's so important to have that. Depending on your content, like some content may not have any use for something like that.
Let's begin. So a month ago, I saw this video on TikTok.
So I call this TikTok style editing. I don't do it, but like I'm near 40. From watching this dude is much younger than me. He's also on TikTok. It depends on your audience. Like I am pulling a relatively older audience because I'm relatively older and the stuff I talk about is more nostalgic. So little flares like that might be really useful, but it also might distract the audience you're actually gonna get. I think it's good overall. It draws me in.
There are so many artists who make rap music so fire, but y'all either don't want to go out and find these artists or you don't know where to look. So, okay. So to help you all out, I'm gonna give you some recommendations. Okay, here we go. The low end theory is...
My nigga started with low end theory. You cheating, bro. You cheating.
To explain to you how this is racist, then that is a clear example of why we need critical race theory to be taught in fucking schools. Like, holy shit.
So the last criticism I have for Thinkpiece Tribe is that, bro, it's a lot of cursing on this video. Like, I curse a lot. I don't curse a lot. I curse on my videos. Like, some people edit out all their curse words. Some people, like me, don't. But I also don't curse a whole lot. But you can get demonetized or have your videos limited monetization if you curse a lot. It's like right now, this is a video on a small channel. You can't be monetized. But like later on, when you want to monetize your channel, you're probably going to need to take this video and just bleep out all these curse words, or else it's going to get lower limited monetization. And that's just something to think about as you make content going into the future. But yeah, this is like, if he had more videos like this, because he's like very new in the game as far as I can tell, I would have probably put this on Ready to Break Bread. That's the only reason why it's not, because like there's so much good here that dude just needs to keep going. So keep going, bro. Next, we have NFTs won't revolutionize the art world, but maybe you can, by Artisinal Cheese.
Closest you'll ever get to licking my eyeball.
Okay, you can open.
That's fucking hilarious. All right, that before I get to like the core stuff, that's just fucking funny. I hope that's how she starts her videos all the time, is art is anal cheese. If you don't think that's funny, something's wrong with you.
Okay, I get it. You buy NFTs because you want to support digital artists, but you don't want to support them in like a Patreon way or like a funding the arts programs way. You want to buy art because you can support an artist and make a huge profit off of it, maybe. Plus, there's this cool, hip-hot, new techie system that's making all of that happen. To me, though, there is just a lot about and around NFTs that just sucks.
So a couple of things off rip. So, you know, I don't know Artisinal Cheese. I think this is a person that told me that they were of Asian descent. And there's not enough Asian creators doing content that isn't explicitly about being Asian, just like, you know, all the black creators have to do content that's about being black, and all the trans creators have to do content about being trans. So I'm excited to see just a video that's about Asian creator that's not about Asian stuff. But like pointing out, you know, the resources. All right, so I can already tell you that this person's ready to break bread, because Like, I don't have to watch much more of this video. I'm gonna watch it because she had a really good stinger. Like, having the video start with her in blue face, I have no idea what the point of that is. I want to see where that comes up in. But this is a young lady that clearly has a lot of polish speaking in front of a camera. She's editing out any pauses or bad takes. She has a good visual in the background. She has a good look to herself personally. She's got graphics being edited up pretty effectively. No, but this is also about resources, right? This is clearly a person that has access to the resources to make a higher quality level of content, which doesn't necessarily mean your content is going to be ready to take off, but she's matching that with, you know, effective structuring, persona on screen, etc.
Money can be exchanged for goods and services, but when you buy an NFT, you're not buying any goods and services. You seemingly have nothing. However, as much as I say that you could hang the Mona Lisa in your bathroom if you owned it, most Mona Lisa owners probably wouldn't. A lot of art buyers don't really have the art either in the way that I'm talking about. Much of the art market exists just to make money, to launder money, and to avoid taxes. And honestly, the NFT market is probably similar.
Okay, so one thing here about filming in multiple locations and sound. So you can't see my mic now, but used to, you know, old videos, you can see my mic coming to me. And like, your voice will sound different depending on the room's acoustics and your sound setup and your engineering and all that stuff. I'm pretty much a one-man show. I've developed different tricks from other people's advice over the time I've been recording. And my sound quality isn't great. Like, it's up and down because I kind of still don't know what I'm doing in a lot of levels. But I do know that when you film in different locations, you have to just understand, if you can't match that sound effectively, it can be jarring to the listener because it's like, well, what happened? Where did you go? Why does it sound so different? So you have to be careful with stuff like that.
Fundamental value as well. And NFTs point to art, right? So take in the art that they point to. Think about the art that you like and what it's saying and why you like it. And think about the art that you don't like and what that's saying and why other people might like it and how you feel about that. Basically, NFTs. And enjoy art. Enjoy it in the sense of enjoy the meaning and understandings and beauty of it. But also get simple joy from it because you deserve nice things. For example, you might relish the joys of making yourself into a meme.
Yeah, smarty.
Thank you for watching.
So I get so much from Artisinal Cheese's personality just from that little beat right there. Also at the beginning, these are important things that you have to make your content work, to be like not to just have a good video, not to have a video that pops off, but to be successful on the platform. Yeah, and endings are really important. Like for the people, so many people are not gonna finish your video. But for the people that finish your video, you wanna make them feel rewarded. You wanna have something at the end that makes them leave like they, you know, felt something or got something or whatever. You don't wanna have weak endings. I know sometimes it's hard to write a conclusion to like an essay, but you gotta have the best one possible, even if it's not like something super deep or impactful. Just that little like visual gag followed by her giggling, like that's dope. Artisinal Cheese should have way more subscribers. Artisinal Cheese is ready to break bread. Please go follow Artisinal Cheese. She's ready. Next up is The Unnecessary Existence of Cinderella 2021 by Rod's Variety.
In the ongoing time of the pandemic, 2021 has given a lot of good things in the entertainment field, from movies like In the Heights and The Suicide Squad to shows like The Owl House and Kid Cosmic. These have given a variety of characters and story that are both entertaining and memorable.
Hold up. So, avatars. This is our first avatar. I don't have a ton to like critique about avatars, just that they need to at least be this good. It has to be a face that people want to stare at. It has to really, the avatar has to do what a normal human face would do, which is express emotion, draw people in, represent your persona on screen. And I think this, like just going from this face to this face.
Aside from a few duds, 2021 has given the viewer a lot of good stuff to watch over time. And lucky enough, there's not a bad movie in sight. That's what I would have said if Cinderella didn't exist, but it does. And it sucks! Why, Amazon? Just why? Why does this movie exist on Prime Video? The question is all.
Yeah, so good visual gags there. You have to, it's hard to explain how comedy works, period, especially in this medium, but like cutaway gags, things that like jar the viewer, that is what keeps them going. The goal of all of this is to keep the people watching the video. So,
Remember Rhythm Nation, a song by Janet Jackson that focuses on equality and how it's much needed in times like this? Well, that song is used at the beginning, introducing the characters in the town. I can understand the townsfolk singing it, as we see the diversity in people, workers, and how some find rhythm. But then we meet the characters and...
Yeah, that's a bar. So that's when I say bar, I mean like that's good analysis. I can't describe it. People want to watch your shit and be impressed with your take on something. So I've never seen Cinderella 2021. I immediately caught that reference to Rhythm Nation. Again, I'm old, so whatever. But that was just a really strong analytical argument to show there. And then to have that punchline at the end with showing how lame and weird it is that the stepsisters were singing in that moment. Good stuff there.
Not thinking about a man, which independently, that's fine. But there's some cringe and moments throughout. But the one that hurts my brain the most, I have to ask, just why?
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
But the biggest problem with this Cinderella movie is that this movie is trying to get brownie points. It's not even genuine progressive media.
Oh man, Rod, what you doing, bruh? That was a good argument, a good piece of analysis, good editing. That was a good visual joke. And then you fumble the line coming out of the cut. You can't do that. There's a lot of talent here from Rod. Like Rod, I think you in there. You just gotta kind of improve the polish, bruh. Your first video of that length, that's another good thing right here is that this is 15 minutes long. This, especially with something that's more pop, hot in the streets related, gives it more chance to thrive and get picked up by the algorithm because more people are going to click on a 15-minute video than a 45-minute video. And every video doesn't have to be your magnum opus. I have left really, really good bars and pieces of analysis on the cutting room floor because a video was just too long already. Rod having all of this in 15 minutes, really strong. I'm going to give Rod Signified just because Rod needs a little bit more polish, but clearly has all the pieces there. Go ahead, check this video out, and let's keep it moving. Next is Candyman Be My Victim by Readus.
I want to talk about Candyman.
Musical cues, y'all, are so valuable. Those pregnant pauses that lead into music, then leads to the title card. That's a technique I do. LaRon has already 40,000 subscribers, but in looking at his channel, because I actually came across this earlier, he's just in a position, I don't know what videos really popped him off. He's not getting what's called good conversion, which means the algorithm probably isn't promoting his videos enough to get in front of his 40,000 subscribers, which means that at some point his subscribers weren't clicking his videos. And, like I'm looking, LaRon, it looks like he's releasing a video every week. Are you releasing a video every week, LaRon? You are. All right, so real quick moment of aside for things that work or don't work on in terms of a channel. Because what that does is it gives the algorithm multiple opportunities to fuck your shit up. Because all it takes is 1 month of videos. Well, I don't know how many videos you have to do in a row that don't perform well. By having all these videos come out over and over again, I think just viewers, I don't think, depending on your content, the viewers, I think, of in-depth commentary type content, I don't know if they want that much content. Because if they subscribe to you, they're probably to subscribe to 4 or 5 other channels. And so they might have to rank you. They might have to say, ooh, we got a new Khadijah video, a new FD video, a new Shanspeare video, a new intellectual media video, all within 2 weeks. That's hours of consumption on YouTube. And so you got to give folks time to breathe and watch other people's shit. And so if you're not somebody's favorite, where they gonna stop and watch immediately when your shit comes on, but you keep on coming out with stuff, you're gonna end up setting yourself up for failure from my perspective.
When it was opted to be made into a movie, more than likely due to the success of Hellraiser back in 1987, Clive Barker's story received a bit of a transformation as far as setting and character races. Instead of keeping the movie in Liverpool, it was shifted to Chicago. Instead of a white dude, Candyman the entity was made into a black man in order to better reflect the new setting after first receiving the blessing of the NAACP.
Yes, because going back to LaRon's video, if you look at this, LaRon is ready to break bread. He's polished in front of the mic. He's got a dope camera. His audio's better than mine. He knows how to make this type of content. He's even got, I think, he's at 40,000 subscribers for a reason. But I really do think LaRon has probably accidentally diminished his space in the algorithms. All it takes is one really strong video to start pulling it back up, and then one really strong one after that. And so LaRon, and hopefully this helps, because LaRon is definitely ready to break bread, but you know, he's been lost in the sauce of the algorithm. This is really why I'm doing this, because I want more LaRons to be out there doing this type of work. Next up is What's the Best Spider-Man Movie Ever by the Drunk Banthas channel.
Hey, you get it? Because that's the name of Peter.
Go outside, nerd.
Because I'm going to do a backflip headfirst deep dive off the side of a building into... But first, a prelude. In the year of our Lord 2010, journalist and screenwriter Mark Bernardin wrote an article posting the idea of a black or brown actor playing Spider-Man in a movie.
Yeah, because I wrote that story for IO9 in 2010, right? I think this was, wondering why Spider-Man had to be a white guy.
I can probably already tell you once again, this is somebody ready to break bread. So again, we're not appearing on camera, which is fine, but the editing, the voice, the audio, this is polished. This is, the problem with nerd media, whether you're black or not, is that it is super saturated. So you just have to figure out a way to get the algorithm to notice you, and then people will engage in your content. But yeah, this is super polished already.
Anyone can be Spider-Man. In this movie, they did a really great job of developing Miles as a different character than Peter. Peter grew up in Queens and Miles grew up in Brooklyn, and they made a point to have Puerto Rican and black culture inform Miles' character. He also has a mom who's a nurse and a dad who's a cop, so it's fair to assume that ethics and morality have been drilled into his brain since birth. And we don't even need to get a "with great power comes great responsibility" quote to drive that point home. We actually learn a lot of little things about his character.
This is good. This is deep lore. This is analysis. This is everything. Let's look at their channel real quick. A lot of content can be a challenge. And also I'm seeing that you all do a podcast on this channel. So one thing that I have learned is that you kind of want to dedicate your channel to one thing. Whatever audience you bring in first, you kind of need to serve that audience more than anything, because that's what keeps your channel alive. So there's some people that can put a podcast on next to their video essays, next to their shorts, and it's all cool because they have such a big community that they'll come every time. But some people won't listen to a podcast. They only want the analysis videos. Some people don't want the analysis videos. They only want the shorts. And if you don't have a big enough community where you can serve all those masters at once, if you have videos like I've done several lives. I've only kept one visible because it was just too funny. It's my first ever shit post. I'm very proud of myself. But beyond that, I'm not keeping my lives up because I know a lot of people won't watch my lives that watch my actual videos, and YouTube recognizes that. All the algorithm cares about is when you release something, do people click? So if your audience came for your video essay but don't come for your podcast is dragging your channel down.
How good of a teacher Peter is and how much him and Miles have connected. I mean, it's just so... The script is so fucking good. This fight scene lasts a little long, but that's kind of a nitpick. So Spidey saves the day, hugs his daddy, and finally accepts his role as Spider-Man. One of the main story arcs of this film, especially for Miles, Gwen, and Peter, all three of them, especially considering what they've been through, have been given a grand opportunity to be a friend, to be a hero, and to be a father.
So yeah, these folks is ready to break bread. I don't have a lot to say here. I love this movie. This is a good analysis video, 18 minutes, so it's short and to the point. Please check out the Drunk Banthas channel. They clearly are ready for being seen at a higher level. So next up is the Wacky Delhi with why home movies is a cinematic masterpiece. I've already watched most of this video because I fucking love home movies.
It's great.
Anyway, these characters seem more simplistic than they actually were, whether in execution or in concept. Brendan in particular went through many periods of transition. There were a lot of interesting quirks and side notes integrated into his character acting. And while the crew figured out how dry or expressive he was allowed to respond, they were still figuring out how animated their visual style could be.
This is, again, one of those quintessential video essays that just is a person speaking about something they love on off camera, and it's all visuals. It is a deep dive. This person did a lot of research. It is spectacular if you like home movies. And that's the challenge though, is can you keep making content that brings back an audience if there's not a huge audience to be drawn to that content? Home movies, that's a deep cut. Like, we're talking Adult Swim, right? We're talking Adult Swim like 04, 02. We're talking early in Adult Swim years. According to the video, I think it's like 2000. So like, I'm 18 years old in the year 2000, which means half the people that might watch this are not even alive. So, but if you're passionate about it, then you do it anyway. And you just maybe won't find the audience for it.
Then the series had reached its peak in terms of general visual strength. It's not just a radio drama anymore. It's a real Adult Swim cartoon with the Hanna-Barbera budget. The characters are more or less the same as they'd be before. I think back in the day, many considered this the worst season because of its more conventional premises, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Wacky Delhi is ready to break bread. Give them a shot because they got a lot of good stuff on this channel, it looks like. And yeah, I really liked what I saw. Next up, we have Black Representation Animation and Why, by Man of 1,000 Thoughts. All right, this is going on too long.
When it comes to animated media, we often find ourselves getting really involved in it. I mean, why wouldn't we? We get to...
I'm ready to say break bread. What's up with this pantomime, though? Do you keep that going the whole time?
only get a few that can represent us as a whole. So, it begs the question, why do we care so much about black representation in animation? Now,
all right, so this just may be me. This dude has an amazing voice. Let me start with that, right? I don't understand why you're pantomiming on cam though. If like, your voice is so good, unless your teeth are like really jacked up, which they can be, like nobody will care as much as you think, you really should be talking on screen. You have or is it because like, is it, so I know, I don't know. I don't get that. It's probably not the worst thing. Like, it may just be me. Let me skip ahead a little bit.
Still more to come. I got to a point that I actually forgot there were some other characters that are actually really enjoyable on a lot of these lists. That's why there's more volumes to come for it.
And you got the homie storyteller on the video, bro. Like, yeah, this. All right, so first off, he's ready to break bread. Let me get that clear. This is a high quality video about cartoons. It's just, getting into that community. I know Toonerific Tariq is probably the top of the food chain there. Haryana has a couple of popped off videos. So this dude has 14,000 subscribers. He needs more. This is a high quality, good video here. I really just don't get the pantomiming. Do you do that in your other videos? Let's check. So that's one of your, the pantomime is clearly one of your things. I don't know, bro. You don't have to listen to me here. I'm just saying your voice is great. You have a good look. I would talk to the camera if you're going to appear on camera. I think it might put some people off. I really think if you're just talking to the camera, it would be just a bit more of an edge to your videos because the production is here, the sound is here, the content is here. This is excellent shit. I just think that will put you over the top. I may be wrong. Feel free to completely ignore me here. But definitely, y'all need to check out Man of 1,000 Thoughts. This is good shit. Next up, we have Solange and Justified Rage by Hiro the Kid.
Thanks, Granddad.
Boondocks.
Granddad, what do you do when you can't do nothing, but there's nothing you can do?
Do what you can.
If there's one year that 2020 was supposed to be comparable to, it's 2016. Still doesn't even feel like that was 4 years ago. Jesus. To be honest, I'm not trying to hear it either. The song's lyrics don't go into full detail as to why Solange is angry. Likewise, there's no game plan on, how to forgive 101. I'd argue that she's still working through whatever it is that she's going through. But the first thing that she does is recognize that she's upset. Anybody having any feelings of indignation or super extreme discontent at the world that they're living in right now should be validated in how they feel, along with every other emotion. And I mean, there's expand your vocabulary in your mind so that you can know when a person last name.
Y'all, this kind of what I'm talking. Like, why I'm doing this is this video came out last year. Like, I may have dropped one of my first videos not long after this brother dropped his. And this is almost 10 minutes long. This is a lot like if you watch my old shit, the light work videos. And this brother only got 125 views. This is such an excellent, concise thought piece. And nothing. This is his last video. He hasn't dropped a video for a year, and I guess he didn't drop a video for a year before that. And I don't know this brother. I think I connected with him on Twitter. And he hasn't come out with a lot of content, right? But I don't know why that is. This brother might be working. He might, COVID happened. There might be so many reasons why he doesn't have more stuff here. But the thoughtfulness of this video, the vibe, you see, he's not super energetic. He's not super animated. He's not, he's not Idris Elba on screen. The drama he instills on the video, the way he dives into that subject and makes it personal, but also universal. This is an excellent piece of commentary. 125 views. I can't say he's ready to break bread because his content is still at this point, but y'all, this is why I'm doing this, because a dude like this with more resources and time and better looks could be here making good shit for the culture if he had the chance, I'm assuming. Next up is Why Don't Black People Trust the COVID Vaccine? A painted video essay by Arts of Paya. Arts of Paya I've seen pop up a couple of times. I haven't actually ever watched one of her videos.
This is not a video to convince Black people to get the vaccine. I probably should make that video, given that I myself am fully vaccinated and I believe vaccines are the way out of this pandemic, but I am interested in approaching this topic from a different angle. I'm interested in exploring why. Why is it that Black people remain one of the least vaccinated demographics, even compared to other minorities like Hispanic and Asian people?
So Paya has a really cool convention here that I've seen before, where she's filming herself painting. I hope she shows the final product at the end, or it's gonna make me be really disappointed. But this is a cool thing that'll really draw in a certain crowd because it's almost meditative. She has a great voice that's very soothing to an extent.
And exploitation towards Black people. This exploitation can, of course, be traced all the way back to slavery. Washington begins her book with the story of James Marion Sims, the famous father of gynecology. Sims was a physician of the late 1800s and was responsible for shaping modern-day gynecology as we know it. For nearly 2 centuries, doctors and medical institutions celebrated him by erecting statues and paintings in his honor. But Sims, one of American medicine's heroes, built his success off of brutality and horror.
Yeah, see, that's deep. Stuff like that, That's why you want to, when you're doing political stuff or anything really, but you want to do research where you're bringing something up that people are like, oh, I didn't know that. I want to know. Like, you have to do that to stand out. Like I said in another video, 37 million channels, pretty sure hundreds of thousands of video essay channels. You got to find them papers. You got to do that research.
Ear headaches and anxiety attacks. Some of you might be wondering why any mother would allow their child to be taken and experimented on like this. And the simple answer is because the researchers lied to them. They knocked on the doors of these mothers who were living in poor, crime-infested neighborhoods and bribed them with $100 and a Toys R Us gift card for their child.
So yeah, so this is a really, so Paya is definitely, Paya I think is ready to break bread. Paya doesn't have a ton of videos, but like, I think Paya is ready to break bread. That was a really good video essay. My only critique is, I think, I don't know. I want to see more art. I want to see like the final product. You really should have gave that a chance to like, this is what you've been working on the whole time. If you could do that, like that's what I've seen with other people, that their essay is accompanied by a painting type thing, is that they have a moment where it's like, okay, now this is the final product. And that helps kind of crystallize that I've been on this journey with you as you've been talking. So yeah, this is dope. Like Paya, this is research. This is good production. This has a cool visual element. Please check out Art of Paya, y'all. Art of Paya needs more looks. I'm subscribing right now. Next up is the Freedom Phone Perfect by LostDoctor 312. I might be from Chicago. Let's see.
Hello, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. My name is Joshua, and today I want to talk about this guy. Nope, that's not the guy who shot Drake and Degrassi, that's this guy. This guy is Eric Finman, the self-proclaimed youngest Bitcoin millionaire, seen here looking like Steve Part-Time Jobs. He's in his early 20s, and while I could give you information on his past and some of his accomplishments, he looks like the kind of guy that can't go 10 minutes without letting you know that information, so I'll take a chance and say he'll cover that for you.
All right, so I have one problem off the bat. He's got a Green Bay shirt on, and we don't fuck with Green Bay. So you go, no, let me stop.
They say build your own phone, so I did.
Did you? Or did you take a cheaply made, already existing device, remove some things, add some things, and then slap a new brand name on it? Because I'm 99% sure that that's what you did.
Freedom Phone truly is the best phone in the world.
That's bullshit. We all know it's the Motorola Razr, but like the original Motorola Razr, not like this new weird bastardized version that came out recently. The original one.
It does everything your current phone does, except censor you and spy on you.
Everything, eh? Will it also fill me with existential dread whenever it rings? Because I know subconsciously that the only people who are calling me are bill collectors and scammers and other seemingly only negative sources.
So this is a good example of how you can get away with breaking certain rules if you have the persona and personality and energy to make it happen. So here, LostDoctor is talking to us and looks away to, I'm sure, read his script, but he's such a natural speaker that you don't care. It feels like a normal thing somebody would do in a conversation. So that's good shit. Yeah, so this is a person that understands how this medium can work in terms of comedic timing. Let me look and see what he's working with. How many views we got. So LostDoctor's just starting out, but I'm gonna tell you right now, so I'm gonna give him Signify just because he only has 4 videos and they're over a significant amount of time. Come back, man. Come back. We need more. You need to keep doing this. This dude's funny. He's got good timing. He's got good visual gags. He has all the qualities we need. Yeah, man. I think I'm not gonna give him break bread because I only see 4 videos. This dude is Signified. Get that content back up and rolling, bro. I think you have a spot here if you can figure out all the other pieces. All right. Lastly is Midnight Mass: Christianity and Trauma by Aranock. Aranock, I think I've seen this visual before, so I know I'm familiar with her. I'm just not super familiar, but I recognize something going on here. Damn, these warnings though. Whew. There's like research that says that trigger warnings are not as useful and they're mostly just a formality. I still put trigger warnings up, but when you have this many trigger warnings, you might want to find ways to, I don't know, maybe I don't know. I shouldn't tell people how to respond to their trigger warnings or what they want to do with the content. Just understand there's different ways to do it, and it just feels like a lot. I'm stressed out just thinking about an hour and 20 minutes with this many trigger warnings.
Served as an altar boy for many years until he went to college. There he would find that
for as many years as I attended weekly mass, and despite a life spent in Catholic school, I actually understood very little about Catholicism.
So he read the Bible, and then studied Judaism, Hinduism, Islam, and Buddhism.
Looking at various religions, I was moved and amazed by their propensity for forgiveness and faith, but horrified by their exclusionism, tribalism, and tendency towards fanaticism and fundamentalism.
Around this time, he began to come to grips that he was an alcoholic, and that midnight mass
faded in on my worst, most ingrained anxiety.
I kind of don't I see what you're doing here, where you're almost like you would in a real essay where you would start the quote, that the quote is your dialogue. But when it's a whole different voice, it kind of becomes distracting, especially since we have this light feminine voice and then this deep, very clear voice with no words on the screen. I maybe just wouldn't have done that.
My life experiences, it's the belief systems systemically oppressing people like me and the members of those other religions, and finally, in a global, historical, and modern context, Christianity is responsible for harm on a scale no other religion can remotely rival. Secondly, if you're Christian, I'm going to say things that should make you uncomfortable. I promise it's not all negative. I'm not here to rant and rave about evil Christians, because this topic is much more complicated than that, and I don't care for your belief system's view on essentializing, as I'll explain later. I want to discuss power and belief and how people have used your religion as a weapon, so please stick through it. I promise it's leading to a positive message at the end.
So I think the only critique I have here is that I'm just not a fan of the way this is edited. I'm really interested in this person's takes. It really is showing, especially if you're not giving personality, if you're not appearing on camera, you gotta pick topics that people are interested in, and you gotta find ways to make your shit really pop off the screen. Aranock, I believe, is a trans creator that is talking about a lot of different things in their channel. It has kind of a macabre and gothic look. Aranock has a nice amount of long, interesting, depthful. I'm gonna say Aranock's ready to break bread. The editing may not have taken me, but I think for other people it'll definitely work. And I think they need more eyes on their content. They have a couple of videos that have popped. So the rest of them, just, please show Aranock some love. So yeah, this is harder and longer than I thought it was gonna be. I feel like there's people I'm missing. I'm really sorry for whomever sent me stuff. And if I got to put this stuff in this playlist, I'll make sure I find it and put it in after the fact, but I can't go back and re-record. I just don't have the time, but I'll make sure to give you some good shout outs on the screen right here. So some final points to think about. People, are educating on this platform. People are saying some really real and really important things, having some important discussions, but you have to remember that watching stuff on YouTube is a matter of being entertained. So you are an entertainer. And so you have to make sure that what you're making accomplishes that goal. And if it doesn't, then you're going to be limiting your ability to grow and participate in these conversations. But yeah, don't forget that. Don't forget that you're trying to get people to sit and watch your shit as an entertainer, not because they're going to get a grade on a quiz it's based on. When you're teaching, and I used to be a teacher, the kids have to listen to you or else because they're going to fail. But either in this situation, you're the one being tested. If your content doesn't pass the test, a motherfucker's gonna swipe right or left or whatever you do on Tinder. Merry Christmas, y'all. I appreciate all the love and support I've gotten this year, where I've went from relative unknown to being significant in this place. Please check out the playlist that's gonna have this. Also, I and several other content creators that I rock with are creating a playlist of just our top videos of the year. So it might be 10 or 5. So please check that out also on my channel. It'll not be my stuff. It'll just be people that I've watched or have seen, mostly BIPOC creators, where they, it's not even just on some support their channels. It's no, This is good shit you're gonna want to see if you haven't seen it already. So please check out that playlist for me and look for some other creators that are my known associates or whatever. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I hope everybody has a good holiday. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and peace.